Hey, collective, welcome to angel number 315. All right, welcome and welcome back to all my subscribers, all the people who are not subscribed. Welcome. Listen, I appreciate y'all for being here because this is the foundation. I might not have a lot of followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. I may not have a lot of that right now, but this is the foundation. So if you here with me, just make sure you make yourself known. All right, I would greatly appreciate that. So that way, I'm the type of person, people say they don't remember faces and names. I do. I know that's weird. That's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I definitely do. But maybe not 100% accurate, but for the most part, I be getting it right. So let's get into the messages, because I really just wanted to talk about some things today. And I could say karmics, but I'm not gonna say karmics, but lower entities, right? These are the more darker forces of the world. So what I'm wanting to talk about is the fact that people are aware that of contracts, right? Then you have these darker entities who they operate out of contracts. I think they possibly get paid or something like that. These are the types of people who, if you're looking at it from a 3D perspective, these are the types of people who seem to be quite comfortable with life, right? So these people could actually show up and look like that they have a lot going on for themselves. These are the types of people who possibly could say things like, use what you got to get what you want. You could just get a undertone of you into something real dark or something like that. But a lot of times people don't really have that awakening with that third eye to be able to tell for sure if this is what it is and this is what it ain't. So it's just like, how can you tell? But you have to do the healing work. You have to go through the processes in order to find your way, right? You can't be led by somebody who is in the dark, just complete darkness. You can't be led by somebody in complete darkness to the light. You might get there towards the light and find out, damn, it's too bright over here. I really thought that I was going to be able to just skate, just slide under the radar. It's really not that simple. I'm not going to say it's not that easy, because it is easy. Once you do the healing work, it's really a mental thing. I think doing darker work, I think to me that's harder, right? But we have these lower entities. They know that they are at a point now where they need help, right? And this is not something that's new. This has been going on. These people have been needing help. Why? Because you can't just rule and dictate, govern every single person in the world. It's always going to be somebody that's over you, that's above you. When we talking about spirituality and things of that nature, all the rankings and things like that. And nobody should expect to just be like head honcho. So that's the number one red flag, when somebody has the big head and they let their title, position, anything like that take over in life. So what I'm getting is that these people of these lower entities, they're sending people towards the divine, all right? Sending people almost as if they're portraying to be some sort of middleman, trying to catapult themselves or someone ahead, trying to be the catalyst to getting people headed towards the right direction so they can get the resources that they need. This is somebody, or these are people who are attempting to be the plug, if that makes sense. So these people are sending lower entity people towards you, right? But see, here's the thing. Everyone has a connection to the divine, right? So you shouldn't have to work through nobody else. Just my personal preference. I'm not against religion. I don't judge people, right? But the part where people are putting Jesus before God, I don't do that, right? We all know that religions are man-made. Let's not act new to that. If we take out all of that, the middleman, this is what we talking about. We talking about the middleman, the plug. You don't need to have all of these separate connections, all of these other people to tell you, oh, I could get you into the kingdom of heaven. Even if you are Christian, you read your Bible, you will know that there's different entities, different power, different forces in the world. It does speak of angels. And you have to really take into accountability the verbiage that was being used in those times. So we have different societies in our current world that we live in today. So the terminologies that we used back then probably is not the same terminology that we're using right now, but people like to take things word for word and it gets dissected in ways that is not meant to. So what spirituality allows for you to do is to look at things and take away the middleman out of the situation and really just break down the gist of everything. Really get to reading the energy. What does this mean? Because there's some things inside of the Bible that you just can't fathom. And it's like, well, that don't even make sense. But they have to tell you in this certain kind of way in order to get you to even understand it in that kind of way. But then we have people who take it literally and then they misinterpret the whole thing. And people say, well, I interpret the Bible how I interpret it. And then this pastor might interpret it. It's really not that difficult. It's not. All right, so the point of the matter is that these lower entities are trying to send people towards the divine in order for them to receive some sort of help. But what God truly wants everybody to understand is that if you have that connection with she, then there's no need to actually go through another person or ever seal your prayers with in Jesus's name. You can seal it using your name because God knows you by name. Even if you decided to change your name or go by a different name, he or she knows you by that name as well, or the universe or whoever it is that you pray to, right? So when these lower entities are sending people towards the divine, all we left to think is, wow, how inconsiderate. I really don't even owe you shit, right? I don't owe you nothing. Oh, well, that's not very godly. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter what you think because I don't have the same beliefs as you have. So where people that are religious, they go by certain types of beliefs where they judge people. It's kind of more organized. You want to make sure you come looking like this. You got to make sure you present yourself in this kind of way. You definitely can't do no church cussing in church. All right. That's not allowed because this is the house of God. Right. But listen, the connection that me and my guy got, I'm able to talk as if he or she is a regular person. All right. And I don't lower myself. I don't diminish myself if I happen to say a cuss word or anything like that. Then that's just what it is. Right. So as far as people that are in their lower selves of these lower energies and entities that are feeling entitled to something, sweetie, boo-boo, honey, child, listen, you're not entitled to anything. All right. You have to earn that. So there is the kingdom of God, but you do have to do work to get there. All right. However that may look for you, because some people think that is some sort of portal that you have to go through. It's a whole nother dimension that takes you to a whole nother world. And then all of a sudden there's all these green hills and pearls and gold and you're floating and you have wings on your back and things like that. And this is where people are in some sort of illusion or something like that, because there's people right here in front of your face that are actually in heaven, whether they look like they are or not. We got help here. All right. So somebody in this energy was seeking help. All right. Somebody actually prayed or cried out for some sort of support or attention, or it says help arrives from unexpected quarters. So God will use people in different entities, energies, whatever the case may be, to help people. Right. It doesn't take away from the work that they have done. But just note this. If you're somebody of a lower entity that did something that God wanted you to do, please don't expect anything back. Don't do that. I would very much so encourage everybody to get familiar with the 10 Commandments, right? And just really study those. Invisible forces of help guide you through troubled waters. All right. So somebody here was literally screaming out for help. And so when you start to ascend and things start to look good for you, you start to feel like I'm headed in the right direction. There's always going to be a test, right? So we got this Knight of Wands here with this Ace of Wands that's in reverse. So somebody was coming in and the main intent and the purpose was to end something, to have somebody left out in the cold, all right? Get you to present an opportunity to you, but really the opportunity where it was going to be whoever you are, you were going to be given that opportunity to them. And see, this is how the devil, which is a lower entity, all right, this is how the devil still kills and destroys. It causes chaos and confusion, all right? And so this is an energy that does not let go. Once it attaches to you, is there. It's hard to get off. And it'll cause you to be repressed and hold back, and even stop you from being in the energy of receiving the abundance that you're truly meant to receive. All right. So I was getting to social mask. Social mask talks about wearing a mask to hide true emotions and avoid vulnerability, offering surface smiles to hide deeper pain. So that's never a good thing. So in this particular situation, I could be talking to a masculine, someone who wanted some sort of title, some sort of position, an advance in their career, maybe in their home life, living situation, relationships, things like that. Maybe this person was in the Nine of Pentacles. This is somebody who definitely has some things going on for themselves, right? And then here's that Ace of Cups, that offer, right? But you got to be careful, because people will dress things up and make it look like something that's desirable in order to capture your attention, right? So you just have to do your research. Maybe you could have been the type of person who felt like, this is definitely what I dreamed of. This is my chance. This is my opportunity. But sometimes God will allow the devil to intercede and come in to see which way you decide to take. Whatever happened in this situation, you closed a cycle out. I'm starting to hear some ringing in my right ear. Definitely my ancestors giving me this nudge and coming through. Let's see. Whatever this was, to me, it's looking like this was the wrong way to take. We do have bad news here. So whatever this decision was, this agreement, whatever it was, it says a rapid escalation of events causes panic and urgency. So there could have been something that was going on, and it just really just took off and spiraled in a downward motion. A sudden crisis disrupts your plans and creates chaos. I tell you, I said the devil, right? And I'm going to show y'all here. The unbearable truth weighs heavily on your heart. Some sort of unbearable truth here. But anyways, we got making sure it ain't that person with that loud music. We have some sort of whatever this endeavor is that you took part in. There was nothing that came out from it. Six of Wands in reverse. We do have the Devil card here with the Six of Cups. So somebody, I don't know, maybe somebody had a few drinks with the devil. All right. Eight of Swords is in reverse. Now you're coming to the realization where you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh my gosh. You could have possibly been illuminated about something, right? And then we have this Six of Pentacles here. This talks about somebody who was definitely sharing. When we're talking about sharing, we're talking about people being in your energy. People can get in your energy different types of ways, but it's up to you to make sure you stay protected and you wear the armor of God, right? And the Bible even talks about that as well. So we got the Moon here that's in reverse. That's somebody being exposed, maybe for sharing some sort of information, sharing some details, or giving to somebody, receiving something from somebody. But what someone did not know is that this would be a missed opportunity. Ace of Pentacles, that's in reverse. And so now somebody is in the energy of chaos, conflict, arguments, fights. Somebody was exploding, was or is. Because the Ten of Cups is reversed. Somebody is not happy about what the heck is going on in this situation, right? Whatever kind of plans you had, they all fell apart. Maybe you had plans on being somebody that was of high honor here in the situation. And it says the pursuit of honor has led to inflated stories and distorted truths. So maybe someone didn't know here. Somebody did not know that there were some backstory information. I don't know. Listen, there was some information that someone was not aware of, a whole storyline, and maybe you're just realizing that you're a pawn in the situation, right? And that's not good. The pursuit of honor has led to inflated stories and distorted truths. You place your worth in others' hands, allowing reputation to overshadow authenticity. So in this situation, I think someone was more concerned about how they look in the public to others, their reputation, the title, making sure they build that rapport up with this family, organization, whatever the case may be. And whatever this offer is that they were heading towards with this Wheel of Fortune actually caused somebody to take about 10 steps back with that 10 of Cups in reverse. All right, got the Wheel of Fortune here, the Knight of Wands. Somebody was very passionate about working with this group. But here we have this Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups that's in reverse. So it's like making it up to a certain point and then you meeting what's supposed to be a twin flame or something like that. But there's such a thing as a karmic twin flame as well. There's a such thing as soulmates. It's just all about how you perceive and how you look at things. You have to really be more aware of what you believe in, what your values are, because the saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And that's definitely true in this situation. Spirit has a way of waking you up to things that you are not aware of, you don't see, right? Because there's so many things you don't see. There's so many energies in the world. And it's just like, well, this God that I believe in, how does God keep track of everything, everybody, right? That's what those evil eyes are for. If you think about it, I thought about it in a way like this. For instance, we have cell phones, we have computers, we have TVs, we have all these smart devices. All of these devices have cameras on them. So everybody is being watched all the time, every moment, every second of the day. I don't think it's never a time where you're not being watched. We have satellites, you know what I'm saying? And if you do your research on satellites, you find out a lot. I talked about this before. But Queen of Pentacles in reverse, King of Cups reverse. This is somebody who operated out of too much emotion, maybe because of someone who appeared to be a little bit disadvantaged in a situation. But this has costed somebody. So I don't want people to think that there's no kind of way to rectify situations. There's always another opportunity. However, you have to be the one to use your discernment and to take that opportunity, because no one else can hold your hand. No one else can walk with you. And people can tell you all these negative things and what people like me do, what I believe in. Can't nobody tell you what I believe in but me. And that's the thing about it. I don't belong to any kind of organization, any religions or anything like that. So you can't pinpoint me. But I can pinpoint a person who is of religions. There's all types of texts and documents that are on those types of people. And when you belong to groups, any kind of group or anything like that, it is recognized as a cult. All right. So it's just up to you to use your discernment that God gave you and to figure out, is this something that's negative or is it positive? And most of the time, confirmation, if there's something in your mind, if you have a gut feeling, or if there's something telling you like this don't seem right, chances are it's probably not. The thing is, what are you going to do about it? Right? So what action are you going to take? See, that right there, those are the things that the world don't want you to see. And they demonize that. Oh, you tapping into you going off your intuition? You're not supposed to use that. Why? Why not? Y'all use the Bible. I'm never going to be ashamed about using my cards. All out here in the public in front of people. People walking by, people parking next to me and all kinds of stuff. I'm not finna put my shit up. Why? So if anybody wants an explanation, thank you, confirmation. If anybody wants that explanation as to why and things like that, or what it is that a person does, you should enlighten yourself, ask questions. You definitely want to do that, because being ignorant to the facts is dark. When you don't enlighten yourself, or you're not enlightened, or you feel like, well, I'm not going to dig too deep, I'm not going to ask no questions, or you might want to, right? Because that could actually save you. Because you might be headed into some territories that somebody might have just walked you into a trap. And you just sitting up there, well, I'm just going to just... So the past unalivings in the world where people have came up missing or unalive some sort of way, what is that? So these things have to make sense to you. And so I'm not going to dig too deep into it, but Just know that whatever this entity is very resistant. They're very hungry. I look at them as zombies and monsters and things like that. And that to leech on to you for your energy and all the things. But the thing about it is that you can't cry out for help, and then when help comes, you're not open to receive it. Instead, you decided to wear a mask in the situation. That's where things took a turn to the left, because God sends people in your life for different reasons. And I'm pretty sure you can think of a time where you were blessed because somebody helped you. But what about the times where you had to be a blessing to somebody else? Did you come through, or did you cower out? And these are the things that you have to think about. You got to be honest with yourself. And this is what the healing journey is all about. It's not easy. It's definitely, it takes a soldier, right? An angelic soldier. But if you can see yourself resonating in that kind of energy, then go ahead, right? By all means necessary. There's no competition here. There's enough for everybody to eat. There's no reason to take things from people. So those was the messages that I actually have for you. So make sure you do what God is telling you to do. And I'm going to make sure I do what God is telling me to do. And until next time, peace.